What is good, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great hump day. Man, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share and let everybody know that we going up this year. Man, we getting on here to talk about the NFL, man. What transpired last week, I guess you could say. Sunday, Monday, last Thursday. And man, let's get into it, man. Last Thursday, man, the Packers looked great. Packers did look great, but on defense mostly, majority. Their offense is still going to be something that needs to be um, worked on throughout the year. I definitely think that Jordan Love has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback at the end of the year, but honestly, I gotta see it. You know what I mean? I gotta see it to believe it. If I don't see it, then I'm not gonna believe in the hype. You know what I mean? Because he be good in the beginning of the year, and then he slowly changes throughout the end. Like at the end of the year, that man become a different person. No cap, he becomes a different person. The Eagles beat the Chiefs. That was a close game, but I see a lot of people talking about the Chiefs on the downfall, and the end of Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily saying that I agree, nor I disagree, but it's a lot of things going on in Kansas City that aren't in his control. Offensive line is still shaky, injured. Wide receivers are in trouble every other week, in jail, doing something. So honestly, it's like we still haven't even really seen what the Chiefs gonna look like. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that they're my sleeper team or whatnot for the year, but I definitely think that they're gonna be a team to be like, you're gonna have to watch out for them, especially at the end of the year. Kelsey gonna have to step it up though. He has not looked good. Then he went out there and injured, your only wide receiver that you did have. It's like, yeah, brother, you got to make some shake now. Come on now. The Eagles look really good, but the thing that is going, like I said, is going to get them is they don't score enough points. And Jalen Hurts, he's going to have to figure out a way to throw the ball. You know what I mean? I think that the defense is going to get them to the championship, but if Jalen Hurts can't throw more than 150 yards a game, that's going to be a problem later on in the season for sure. Because we all know they're going to be able to run the ball. But can you get the ball to your two best receivers? You know? The Falcons. The Falcons versus the Vikings. I like what I saw from the Falcons from the defensive front side, but personally, I like I said, you're not gonna be able to change my mind on how I feel about the last draft. Even though I do like the direction of where we're going, I feel like it's very apparent that we need to address this year, like heavy. I hope they do, but man, that cornerback room needs to be fixed. The defensive line looked great. Jalen Walker, James Pierce, they came to play on Sunday night. They came to play, and I thoroughly enjoyed the defensive beatdown because we couldn't do anything on offense. Now imagine if we was going against a team that was actually scoring some points. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't score no points. And I mean, at the end, I feel like we should have one of the better offenses in the country. But it's looking to me, I just feel like we can't stretch the ball down the field. And at some point, it's gonna get hard to scheme a lot of these defenses from biting down on some of these routes. But at the end of the day, if you got a quarterback that can get it to the wide receiver, pretty fast, it goes hand in hand. But I just feel like we need to push the ball more down the field. Definitely need to, honestly and truly, if we need to feed Kyle Pitts for a little while with our wide receivers being injured and stuff like that, then do that. We understand that he can't catch the ball. More so when it comes down to him, that's the questionable part with him is he gonna be able to give us those tough, hard earned yards after he gets hit? I think that's where we're at with him because at the end of the day, we know that he can catch the ball. Can you catch the ball? Can you do some Brock Bowers type stuff, bro? If we just be honest, can you do some Brock Bowers type stuff? Can you go out there, catch the ball, and take it 80 yards? Like, for real stuff. But I did like what I saw. We got a quarterback. That's all I can say. I do love that part. We at least got a quarterback. And the defense, Alon is looking better. Billy Bowman looking great. Looking great. I knew that he was gonna put him in the slot at some point. They're gonna move him safety at some point. I'm pretty sure he's gonna play both, throughout his career for sure. But at slot, because we needed a slot for sure. But I hope they definitely get an outside corner at this year. This year. AJ Terrell hurt. Hughes, we don't really know how well he's gonna do throughout the year against people's number ones. I need another cornerback in the room, please. Please and thank you. But outside of that, Xavier Watts, ball hawk. Not much to really say. The secondary from the safety to nickelback position looked great. The cornerbacks, they did good too. But then you saw their mistakes, and it's like, okay, we need to make sure we work on that or fix that because again, we're not gonna be able to keep defense on the field because the defense was on the field a lot. We ain't gonna be able to do that every game because it's gonna be an offense that's gonna be able to put some points up on the board. It's just not gonna. I don't know. You telling me we're gonna go from being one of the worst defenses in the league to now we're gonna be the best? If we the best, then I'm gonna throw my hands up and I'm gonna shut up. But if we ain't the best, then we need to fix it. But overall, I liked it. I liked it. I like to win. I like to win. Rams versus the Titans. Now, people be sleep on Matthew Stafford. I don't know why people be sleep on Matthew Stafford like he ain't a dog. Just because he was out there with that bum organization for the time being that it was some bums. Just because they was out there stinking it up at the time does not mean that their quarterback was trash. Because their quarterback wasn't the problem out there the entire time. He took them to the playoffs. He drugged them on his back to the playoffs multiple times. They just couldn't win. They just couldn't win nothing. So, at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford is a dog, and he's showing y'all that he a dog. Put that belt on them boys. 33-19. They got a running back too. I will say, I would not have expected him out of that class to become the running back that he is now, Williams. But it's cool to see that he was the one out of that class that is doing the best, I believe. Jaguars versus the Bengals, man. I feel bad for Joe Burrow because I feel like every year that man getting hurt, and then he ain't getting hurt for like 2-3 weeks. He getting hurt for months. You know what I mean? And he was already old when he came into the league. No offense, we all getting up there, big dog, but you was already older, so they already talk crazy and bad on your name, and you made it to the Super Bowl and ain't win, so they really talk bad on your name because you made it to the Super Bowl and you ain't win. So they waiting on you to make it back to the Super Bowl. Then you went out there and asked for all the money for your homeboys and stuff like that, which you should have done. I respect you for doing that, getting them paid and stuff like that. But you gotta be on the field, man. If you ain't on the field, I don't know how they gonna make nothing shake. Make nothing shake. But Trevor Lawrence, I think your clock is running. It's definitely ticking, brother. At least with the Jags, for sure. You couldn't win against Jake Browning. Now again, the defense of the Bengals is playing out of their mind right now, which is crazy. Cause who would have thought? But you was in a full-blown dogfight, and they got 3 interceptions on, bro. How did you not score more points? Again, bruh, I'm telling y'all, Just like what I'm saying with the Falcons. If you going against an offense that's messing around and scoring points, even if your defense is making stops, at some point your defense is gonna give way. Your defense is gonna give way. It sucks to say that, but at some point they give way. Because the Jaguars, they should have a defense that should be able to stop the Bengals. And they pretty much did with 3 picks. 3 picks. The offense, that's the offense fault. That's the offense fault. Ravens versus the Browns. Who goes out there and talks mess about Derrick Henry? That's one thing, one person in the NFL, that don't even make no sense to me. I'm leaving him, his mama, his daddy, his auntie, his grandma, I'm leaving all of them alone. Because that man come and he run over y'all just off the strength of wanting to get paid. He go out there and run y'all over. And you gonna go out there and antagonize the man? I'm weak. Put that belt on y'all boys. Not honestly, because I think Dylan Gabriel got a little bit of playing time in this game too. I think he played all right. I think Cleveland need to go ahead and make a decision. They need to flip, do something, and shake something up. Flacco ain't scoring no points, if I'm just being honest. Bills versus the Jets. Man, Justin Fields, man, you ain't been looking the same. It's like, I don't know if it's his fault or we scared or if he don't want to get hurt or whatever, but I need you to pick it back up, big dog. Hey, James Cook, DGD, man. DGD. That right there, it's a dog for sure. He's showing y'all why he deserved that money that he got this offseason, and y'all gonna be happy that y'all paid his butt, to be honest. The Patriots versus the Dolphins. It's crazy that I picked the Dolphins because, again, I'm picking these teams thinking that about the old, but I need the new to start coming in, and just two of them, they had that conversation and it sparked a little plug on the spark under them. You know what I mean? But that defense, if you can't stop nobody, that's crazy. 33 on their head, and that's what Tua trying his best. I don't even think Tua had no turnovers. Let me see. Before I get in line, Tua had 1 pick. Pick was costly. But yeah, Dolphins need to go defense for sure. And they next couple drafts. 49ers versus the Saints. I don't know how the 49ers really pulled that win out. The Saints, honestly and truly, their defense kept them in the game. So at least with the Saints, even if y'all don't have nothing going on offense, at least y'all got something going on defense. At least the defense gonna keep y'all in games, is what I'm saying, for sure. I think Brock Purdy's hurt too. All the quarterbacks is getting hurt. What I am secretly hoping, off topic, on topic, what I'm secretly hoping is somebody do hit the Falcons up. Hey yo, cuz still need to play. He how old is he? Or how much is that? All right, we give you a 4th, and maybe a 6. Yeah, we can make some shake if you take some of that money off the top. Man, hey, 4th and a 6. They better start. They better start lining that man money up. Get that man look, that half that they talk about. Get that man his money and send him on his way for a 4th and a 6. That's a cornerback right there, and that's a quarterback that you get in the draft that could back Michael Penix up. Oh God, you telling me that ain't a dream right there? That's a dream. All these quarterbacks get injured, and these are playoff teams that need a quarterback, and that's a playoff quarterback that we got sitting just waiting because he want to play. That's the crazy thing. I know he does. I know he definitely want to play. Yeah, it's a crazy situation. But anyways, Giants versus the Cowboys. Man, the Giants sold, but the Cowboys out there winning football games. I'm not saying that I love to see it, but they're my dad's team, so I like to see it Cause Jerry is taking that team down the gutter. I'm not even gonna lie to you, to the down the gutter. So I don't know if it was a good decision to go out there and get Clark or not. Cause I don't know if they able to stop. I think no. I think they were able to stop the run. They weren't able to stop the pass. And I think that's the con. It's like 10-1, 12 and another. Like shoot, man, you take away your pass rusher who would bring down pass rushing yards, but then you got a run stopper because you need to stop the run. It's like you gave up one to let the other happen. You didn't fix the situation. Pretty much is what I'm saying. But I will say the offense looks good. We ain't dropping passes as much as we were. Man, the Lions put that belt on them boys, and honestly, I don't know what it is when it comes down to Caleb Williams now, because you got a new coach, new system. You putting up points. The defense is garbage. That's one thing. Defense garbage. But well, I won't even put it on Caleb Williams like that or the head coach. What I will say is that we now see that Ben Johnson, Campbell had a lot to do with that. You know what I mean? And not saying that Ben Johnson isn't going to be a good head coach or whatever. We still got to give Campbell his respect because Campbell had that defense ready to go for them boys for sure on that day. And honestly and truly, be on the lookout for Gibbs. I don't think he appreciated that. That first loss that they had. Yeah, I think that was that first loss. And he didn't appreciate that, so I think he gonna go crazy. The Seahawks versus the Steelers. Man, the Seahawks look pretty good. How many yards did? Yep. Sam Darnold had an okay day, but you don't really need to have too good of a day when you out there having a running back that's going over 100 and giving you a tub too. So, Kenneth Walker is back healthy. It's gonna be a rough time for people stopping because they got like three running backs. Honestly, and truly, three. They got three starting caliber running backs. In my opinion, it's just all how you use them. Kenny McIntosh would be a great fit for the Bills right now, if we being honest. The Broncos versus the Colts. Man, I watched that game. That was a close. Good game. I'm not even gonna lie. It's crazy that the Colts are winning football games without Anthony Richardson. I definitely think his career is gonna be moving on to somebody else's team, because that's no longer his team no more for sure. I definitely feel like the Colts have found their quarterback and probably gonna keep on to him for a little while if he has a good season. But Jonathan Taylor showed you why Jonathan Taylor is who he is. I'm talking about wore that defense right on down. Got him 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 7, 3, 10, 3, 15. Then he finally got it, 5, 5, 5. Then it was almost to the crib, to that thing like what, 60? Almost 70. He almost cribbed that thing. So, yep. That right there is what, being able to run the ball really does help. So, I wish the Falcons would figure out a way to, help their running back run the ball more, get him some more touches outside of passing him the ball. But, yeah, the Broncos need to figure that out. They need to figure out that run defense. If they can't stop nobody running the ball, it's going to get hard for them in the playoffs because I think a lot of people in the AFC, you got Henry, you got who else up there at the top? Oh, James Cook. Then, if the Colts mess around and get in again, the Colts. So, the Panthers versus the Cardinals, man, I heard this game was like 27-7 until the fourth quarter, and then that's when the Panthers started scoring points. But I don't know. I don't really know what to think. I think the Panthers need to just go ahead and look for something new in the draft as well at quarterback because I don't think they really have faith in Bryce. Or the wide receivers are just that garbage because I hear the wide receivers over there are trash. But the Cardinals defense is questionable. If I'm up 27-7 in the fourth quarter, there's no way that a team should be getting routed to almost winning in the fourth quarter. Now the offense is also in question, which is also a reason why I think their head coach is on the hot seat, because Kyler Murray, he's a good quarterback, but you do gotta figure out a scheme for him because he's short. He's a shorter quarterback, but he can sling that mug. But my thing is how you got Marvin Harrison, all these boys, at wide receiver, and we can't. How are we not giving Marvin Harrison? Like, I'll be giving Marvin down there somewhere. Psh. And I mean, I get it. We in the NFL, so you can't do that every play. But dang, that do that to CD every day. That do that to CD every day. You telling me you can't do that with Marvin Harrison? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is one man operating teams right now. I ain't gonna say Puka out there by himself, but Lad was out there by himself last year. Hey man, Brock Bowers had the most yards on the Raiders offense last year. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. My boy a dog, though. My boy a dog. But yeah, Buccaneers versus the Texans. Watch that game too. Great game. Hey, Baker Mayfield, I will say, like I said, sleeper for MVP of the year for sure. He drove them down last 2-minute drive, scored that touchdown. That brother's a dog. One thing I will say is that Baker gets it done. I think he took that opportunity where things weren't looking too good and with the Browns, and he didn't went to Tampa and turned everything around. And honestly and truly, I just what if Johnny Manziel would have been able to do the same thing? You know what I mean? There's so many what ifs that I think about when it comes down to Baker, because Baker's having such a good career. He's changed a lot. He's doing different things. He's on the bigger and better. What if Johnny Manziel could have just done the same thing? Like, bro, like, I get it. I'll be watching his interviews and stuff like that, but I'll be like, dang, Johnny, if you would have just worked a little harder, forgot to party in for 2.5 seconds, man, and just been like, man, this bag, that man Johnny Manziel could have been an all-time great. I think CJ Stroud is on the hot seat for me, and the only reason why I say that, I will take everything I just said back, because that offensive line is garbage. Garbo. That's their fault. And I feel bad for CJ, actually. Nah, I take all that back that I just said. I feel bad for that man, CJ. You go trade my best tackle to, even though outside division, you trade my best tackle, then yeah, you give me some men. I'm getting beat up back here, and I ain't got no running game pretty much. I take that back. Nick Chubb was toting that thing. They just can't protect his butt when they passing the ball. I just can't get it. I can't get it. Who does that? I got a franchise quarterback that had a second year, and we trying to get him back over the hump after what he did his first year, and we get rid of our best tackle, and then don't really get him nothing in comparison next year. That's just crazy. I just would have never thought that that's what they would have done. You know what I mean? And I get their defense is gonna be good and stuff like that, but that's just crazy. I would have never done nothing like that. But yeah. Chargers versus the Raiders, man, that was a hard game to watch. But Jay Hurd putting that thing on everybody. He said he coming. He done heard what the critics done said. He done seen what done happened last year, these last couple years. He said he coming. He said, I am not listening to none of this junk no more. If y'all want me to be a dog, I'm going to be out here barking for sure. And he doing it. 20-9. And I mean, that defense is out there. That defense is humming off him. They want to go out there and beat the brakes off people. I'm talking about, it was so much clack, 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 clack. I'm talking about they was hitting. Okay. Everybody on the Chargers defense, they looking to hurt somebody. Hey, hey, what? And the Texas versus the Buccaneers. You know, them folks, they was out there literally hurting each. They was out there hurting each other. Them dudes is out there on the sideline during the game. Can't go back in because they was out there padding it up. They was out there padding it up, putting them pads on dudes. So it's like, man, the Chargers are sick of it. They understand what happened in the playoffs last year, and they said they ain't doing that. They ain't going through that no more. And I respect it. I respect it because they putting it on everybody, and they coming. Chargers, 20-6, man. That's all I got to say. J Herb went crazy. Gino, you need to fix things. You need to get it together. If it's the offensive line, you need to say something. Y'all can't run the ball worth of nothing either. And honestly and truly, it ain't even really Ashton's fault. That offensive line can't block for nothing. So honestly and truly, yeah, I put everything on the offensive line at this point. Gino, you need, like I said, you need to get a little bit more accurate. You be missing just a tad bit. You be missing. We need you to get back right. Get you get back right. But if they could fix some things on offense, I think the Raiders could still be a sleeper team. That's still gonna be my sleeper team. But yeah, man. This week we got the Dolphins versus the Bills. I'm going to Bills. We're gonna see what happens there. Honestly, like I said, I don't have no faith in Tua. No faith in Tua. So I'm going with the Bills. Falcons versus Panthers. Falcons. No explanation. I just think we have a better offense, and hopefully our defense can continue to be on the uprise. Rams versus the Eagles. I'm gonna go. I have the Rams winning this one. I think this is where the Eagles take a hit, and I think Matthew Stafford goes out there and downs it up. I think he wants that revenge win for sure. But if they don't, I can definitely see this being like a statement win for Jalen Hurts for sure. Bengals versus the Vikings. I'm gonna go to Bengals. I trust Jake Browning more than I trust whoever is gonna be backing up JJ because I think JJ's hurt too. Steelers versus the Patriots. I got the Steelers. Colts versus Titans. I got the Colts. Yeah, I got the Colts. Texas versus the Jaguars. I got the Texans. I got the Texans getting their first win here, and I got Trevor Lawrence going 1-2 in his first 3 games back this year, which is crazy to be saying, but still. Jets versus Buccaneers. I got the Buccaneers. They got the Jets at their house. I think that's gonna shake Justin Fields up just a little bit. You know, is I feel bad for Justin because they probably not gonna get their first win until they play the Dolphins, and then after that, they literally might not catch another win until they play the Panthers, and then like they're not catching wins until like the back half of the season. So in my opinion, in my eyes, they're not catching wins to the back half of the season. I just think that's eh, we'll see. It could be a successful season for the Jets. Hopefully, we'll see. Back half of the season is always interesting. Raiders versus Commanders. I have the Raiders taking this win with Jaden Daniels being hurt. Don't really know what their offense gonna look like. It was very meh when even when he was hurt and when he was out there. I don't trust it when he's not gonna be out there. You know what I mean? They can't block for him when he out there. When he out there, I don't know. I'm not gonna trust they backup. And I definitely think that Geno Smith is gonna get things back in order. I think they're gonna get the running game going at some point, hopefully. But I think at some point they also are just gonna be like, forget it, we're gonna feed this man Brock Bowers. Um, Packers versus the Browns. I'm going with the Packers. That defense is just scary, real scary. Um, Broncos versus the Chargers. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think they on a roll. I think they on the roll, and I think they're gonna keep it going. At least for right now, they're gonna keep it going. Um, Saints versus the Seahawks. I got the Seahawks. It's gonna be a close game. I think that. I do think it's gonna be a close game because the defense gonna keep them in it. Cardinals versus the 49ers. I'm gonna go to Cardinals. If Brock Purdy is healthy, I go 49ers. I'm gonna go 49ers actually. I'm 49ers. I do not trust the Cardinals defense for one, but for two, I would rather go with a defense that I understand is gonna be decent to good. I'd rather trust them than a defense that's more streaky. Cowboys versus the Bears. I'm going Cowboys. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Cowboys. I like their offense just a lot better. I think Caleb just needs to get a couple things situated, and maybe during the back half of the season they'll catch a couple big wins. But I think right now they're still figuring things out. Chiefs versus the Giants. I got the Chiefs. I think that'll be their first win. I think the defense will step up. And Patrick Mahomes is probably going to find his third and fourth best options at this point. I think that's going to be their breakout game. And then the last game being the Lions versus the Ravens. I got the Ravens getting that W right there. I think that it was a great showing by Campbell and them boys in that defense. I just, I'm a roll with the best offense, at least for right now, with the top 10 defense than the yeah. Yeah. They just proven. They just more proven, honestly. And I like their secondary a lot more, if I'm just being real. That boy Kyle Hamilton is a dog. Dog. Then they got Raekwon over there on that defense. I think that defense is always nice. It's just, can they put it together and hold teams? Now, Jair Alexander is gonna be the question mark that everybody is gonna have throughout the entire year. But I feel like if you can give the ball to Lamar at the end of the game, shoot, before halftime, if they can go down and score on both those possessions and or be in position to score at the end of the game, I think the Ravens take that one home easy for sure. Ravens. I think they've learned their lesson. And they just not gonna let that happen again. So yeah. But yeah, man, those are my picks for week 3 for the NFL. I hope y'all have a great day, man. Let me know what y'all think. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, man, and share, man. Let everybody know what's going on. I'll be back with y'all with another video later on this week. Peace.